Kelsey, not live. I am Kelsey and this is Not Live, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about the writer's mood cycle. Now if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I've been going through a blue patch. I have been down in the dumps, I've been sad, I've been absent, I've been definitely not feeling like the social thing because I wasn't feeling like myself, and it's been kind of stressful. And one of the reasons that it feels stressful is because it feels like other people aren't going through the same thing, which is silly because tons of writers that I know are going through the same thing. And I think it's important to realize that we're not in this alone. There are a lot of people who are going through similar experiences, and I think we can really learn a lot by going through hard things together, which is why I'm going to share with you what I think is pretty much the accurate representation of how my moods swing as a writer. Phase 1, you write something and you feel good. Maybe it's just a little something, the beginning of a project or the beginning of something new or a chapter that you've really been thinking about, and you write it and it's just a little something, but it makes you feel like a writer. Phase 2, you write a little more and you feel even better. This may be that you've gotten to a word count goal on a project or even finished a project, but you have taken some great strides and you've read your work and you're like, oh my gosh, I am super awesome. I wrote this, this is great. I'm so pumped, yay me. Phase 3 is when the writing stops. Now maybe the writing stops because you are sending out query letters and you finished a project and now you're gonna send it out. Or maybe it's interrupted by something in life, but you take a break from your work, you take a break from your writing that you don't necessarily have control over. And that is when the self-doubt starts to creep in. You suck. Psst, Kelsey, you suck. Kelsey, you totally suck. Now you try to brush this off and you try to stay positive, but for whatever reason, you don't start writing again. There's a prolonged wait. That's stage 4. When the wait gets to the point where you are feeling detached from your work, detached from your writing, and you are all of a sudden really confidently sure that you are the worst writer ever. This prolonged wait could be because you are waiting to hear back from agents and it's been a long time. It could be that you have an agent and you're on submission, but you can't touch your work because it's being considered by editors. Or maybe it's, again, some life change, like pregnancy or a move or a job change, and all of a sudden you are just really disconnected and you're confident that you're the worst writer ever. Because you're a positive person, you want to try and fix it. You want to try and pull yourself out, which leads you to stage 5, which is when you try to write, but you just can't. Maybe you just can't get back into the swing of things. Maybe you can't get into the same voice or headspace you were in when you first started a project, or maybe you're trying to start a new project, but it just isn't clicking and it feels forced. And at that point, we enter the pit of despair.
The pit of despair.
So the pit of despair is different for different people. For some people, the pit of despair is a period of actual depression, and for other people, it is a period of total isolation. But generally, it's a time when you don't want to talk with anyone and you realize that you are ready to actually quit. You're like, this isn't the job for me. I don't have the stamina for this. I don't have the endurance for this. I don't have the dedication for this. I can't do this. And I was totally stupid to think that it was ever going to be something that was going to work for me. Phase 6 is when you try and commiserate with someone. Maybe you have critique partners or writing friends and you are in the phase where you are talking about how horrible you feel. You're still not necessarily able to do anything productive. You're still not necessarily back on the wagon or back in the saddle, but you have opened yourself up to communicating, maybe through venting or complaining or crying to your friends. And usually that phase, at least for me, ends with phase 7, which is the breakdown and then breakthrough. I spent the most amazing time in this little tiny one-room cabin with my writing partner, Annie, and it was one of those things where I spent most of the entire 3rd day of the trip just crying all over her. And what that was for me was true catharsis. When I really let the guard down and really became totally vulnerable to someone who was there and who was willing to support me and build me up and show me that not only was I not alone, but that I actually was a writer. And that breakdown led to a breakthrough, which was truly clouds parting and, you know, birds singing, and the next day of the retreat, you know, it resulted in writing thousands and thousands of words, which of course takes you back to the beginning of the cycle where you write something and you feel good. If you're stuck in the pit of despair, trust me when I say that I've been there and I know how horrible and hard it is. And show yourself kindness. It's a normal part of the process and you're allowed to be in the pit of despair for as long as you need to be. But I hope that you know that there is something on the other side of that. And sometimes getting to the other side is something that you do on your own, and sometimes it's something that you cannot do without the help and support of others. So reach out to the people that are around you. Make sure that you are sharing how you feel with other people, and it will get better, and you will write something new, and you will fall in love again with what you're trying to make. So wherever you are in the cycle today, I hope that you are safely on your way to the next phase because I feel like that's sort of how we move through writer life. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure and comment and like it. And thank you guys so much for subscribing. I'm all over social networks at Kelsey, so go find me there. And I will see you with a brand new video on Friday.